So I love this dude's channel, ShredzShop. I believe this is a real skate shop. But this guy, I don't know how people do it. I love these like YouTube documentaries, but this guy does it about skating. And like, how do you source the information about skating? There's only kind of like so much information out there. So I feel like this guy does a really good job. We've been talking about the Lakai sort of downfall quite a lot. And I'm kind of curious, like I just see Trump in there. I'm curious to see what his perspective is and his take on the whole Lakai situation. Maybe we can give some more insight.
If you've been on the internet in the last few weeks, you've seen the rumors. They all say that Lakai is done. There's a lot of rumors and chatter circulating the brand, and we wanted to take a minute to talk about what we know so far and to give our 2 cents. Hello, I am here.
I guess it's not really rumors, it's like stuff that's been happening, but I guess the rumor is that it's dead, you know? The original owners are saying it's dead when like someone else is trying to run the company. So I guess it is an interesting like power dynamic.
Levi from ShredzShop connecting you to skateboarding, and today we're doing a video called What Happened to Lakai. To start the—
You like how I bet you he goes, oh shit, I'm filming the Lakai video today. I'm gonna wear my girl t-shirt to honor the original owners. I bet 100% that is why he wore that.
Video, we wanted to say that our shop, this shop, opened December 1st, 2007. So we opened the store literally the very week that Fully Flared was released to the masses.
Good times.
This video came out and it shook the skateboarding world. It won Transworld's and Skateboarder Magazine's Video of the Year award. And
so the Lakai owners is Mike Carroll and Rick York, from what I understand. And then I don't know if they had some investors. I don't know if they had other people. From what I understand, it was those 2 people. Wait, right? No, but isn't Spike Jones too? I think it's, anyway, I think it's those 2 people. Then what it seemed like is, in business, you get to a point where the business is losing so much money that the best thing to do for the business is you have a decision. You either sell a portion of the business to a businessman, or you just say, all right, it's done, it's all over. So what Lakai did is they sold some of the business to this business owner, and then it kept going down, down, down. And then eventually they kept selling so much that now someone else owns the company and someone else fired them. Basically, I think what happened is they said, we will not cut the skate team, we will not kick off our riders. And then they said, okay, everyone's fired, the riders and the owners, I think.
Marky J. Johnson won Thrasher's Skateboarder of the Year award, SODI.
Don't try this at home, kids.
That year, 2007. It was the highest grossing skateboard film of all time when it came out, and it was released in the glory days, the prime of skateboarding videos.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And because of this, Lakai became most hyped up skateboard shoe brand of that time.
Yeah, boy.
At least in our area, in Cochrane, Alberta, Canada, as well as Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Cowtown. You couldn't even go to Mills without 1, people doing drugs next to you and passing out. From getting help. I'm about to stand. And someone wearing on 1 foot a Manchester and the other foot a Telford, because they couldn't choose because they're that good. Interesting enough, only a few months later was the 2008 giant recession. This caused chaos in the skateboard community. And as well as we mentioned in one of our other videos, where we live, it took our 20 skate shops that we had all the way down to 3. So before we get into why we're here for this video, let's rewind it back a little bit.
Brutal.
Let's talk about Lakai. Lakai was originally founded under the Girl umbrella, founded by Mike Carroll,
Rick and Spike, maybe.
Howard.
Okay, and maybe Spike is just a heavy hitter. I feel like he was involved in some kind of way there.
And we think they had silent partners of Spike Jones and Meg Baltimore. Since they're
Rick coming in. I think, is Meg someone's wife?
Conception in 1999, they've been famous for letting out some of the best videos. Videos like Lakai Canada A Tour.
Yeah, we're just trying to make these guys feel welcome in Canada, man.
Canadian Stupor Tour.
I think that it might not have been this exact one, but there's one tour where Mike, Mo, and Sean Malto both get put on the tour at the same time, and then they became kind of like really close friends. And then they ended up both turning pro for girl at the same time too, and they've always been like kind of bonded like that.
Trying to make these guys feel welcome in Canada.
It might not have been this
Canadian
one, but it
Stupor Tour.
was similar tour.
Stay Flared.
I'm gonna call the cops on you for destruction of property.
Beware of the Flare. The flare.
That looks sketchy.
Fully flared.
Fully flared, I think, is the best skate video ever. I don't think anyone's topped it yet.
And bubble. They have an all-star cast of filmmakers. People like Ty Evans, Spike Jones, Federico Vitetta, Daniel Wheatley, Daniel Policelli, and Dan Wolf. They've also had the most star-studded team of the years. People like Rick Howard, Mike Carroll, Eric Costin, Rob Welsh, Riley Hall.
Apparently Rob Welsh is a vert skater, and like being in the vert JD scene, he's like SF.
Welsh.
He was OG SF skater skating this PS7. There's also the skate stuff as we were talking about earlier. SF era, and now he just skates vert apparently. I don't know if I've seen any footage of it there.
Tony Hawk.
It's sick they got Tony on.
Scott Johnson. Mike Moe.
Yes.
Alex Olson.
Alex Olson.
Anthony Papalardo.
What has he been doing?
Guy Mariano. And Mark Johnson. But that's just to name a few. And let's talk about the good Canadian boys they had on the team. Carl LaBelle, Wade Fife, Ted DeGrow, Mike Chalmers, and Bird Boy, Ty Peterson.
This guy's Canadian? I didn't know that.
We also have a blog post on what happened to Lakai. We'll keep that updated with everything we know, so make sure you guys keep checking back on that link below. Rewinding back and talking about the success of Fully Flared, the thing is, with how huge and successful the video was, it also was kind of viewed as a little bit of a curse because every individual skater blew up. And guys that Lakai had picked up for basically nothing because they were no names at that time blew up.
Yeah, isn't that kind of sad? Lakai was just before the cusp of like social media. I want to say if it was 2007, that's still MySpace. I think Facebook wasn't even yet, or like it wasn't mass adoption yet. So they're like right on the cusp of social media era. So you can't really blow up in any other way than like being a part of a big project like this. So the project was so hyped that all the lower dudes blew the fuck up and all the bigger dudes got more and more opportunities. And basically the video came out and then everyone kind of left, sort of.
And became
kinda
household
sad,
names,
honestly.
the most famous skateboarders, and then every shoe brand was offering crazy money to get them to come ride for them. Some people
it's sick
have dubbed
that
this
the skaters are
Lakai
making
intro
money.
curse because the main dudes that were in that all got huge offers.
But still, kind of
See
sad.
guys like Alex Olson jumping ship to Vans and then later to Nike. Anthony Papalardo gets offered a huge deal with Converse. Cairo Foster leaves to ride for Etnies. Lucas
You can't
Puig
hold it against
becomes
the skaters.
front
Like,
man
you have
at
to
Adidas.
take it.
Mike Moe gets a huge contract from DC. Eric Costin leaves to ride for Nike SB. As well, he leaves 4-Star Clothing, which was under the Crail Tap umbrella, to go ride for Nike Clothing. And as time passed, even more people left, with Brandon Biebel leaving to Diamond Footwear, Mark John.
Should I make a YouTube video about Brandon Biebel? I sometimes watch his Instagram stories and it's very, very, very interesting. It seems like he has zero skate on his mind anymore.
Johnson leaving to Adidas. Guy Mariano joined Nike SB. Danny Brady
recommend
goes to
watching his
Vans,
Instagram
and
stories.
JB Gillette and Nick Jansen also go to Nike SB.
Where did everybody go?
Isn't that crazy? They
So
all
not only
leave.
was 2008 a giant recession that hit the skateboard brands very hard, but it was also a time where
Guy's
the
a legend.
big
Watch what
sports
he's
shoe
up to
companies
now. Watch some of the stuff. Watch some of the stuff and come back
were
in
starting
next
to pour a lot
few
of money into
streams.
the skateboard world.
Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city.
So this was a pretty tough time for the core skateboard shoe companies that were having
JD
a tough
is
time
for fallen
financially because of the
shoes right now,
recession,
I
but
think.
also having to compete with the big sports brands. It was
But I
so
hope he can
tough
get a
for these
sick
brands
contract
at
where
that
he's getting
time
paid
that
like a
lot
bunch.
of the
That'd be
core
so
brands
good.
started to either go bankrupt or they got bought out.
I'm all out of money!
So then fast forward a bit, and in October 2014, Altamont Capital, which was a huge corporation, has nothing to do with the Altamont Clothing Company, bought out Huff and Lakai Footwear as a package deal. For context, Altamont Capital owns a
Oh, I didn't know that. I did know Huff had a sale, but I didn't know that Lakai was lumped in with it. These big acquisitions, you usually sell a few companies at once. I don't really know exactly why, but it's kind of like maybe Lakai was not in a good spot and no one's going to buy it on its own. But if they can buy half and you force them to buy Lakai as well, okay, maybe they do it
bunch of
then.
companies like Fox, Brixton, Libtech, and Dakine. These companies basically come in and they help finance these smaller skateboard companies that need an influx of capital in order to compete. It was never released how many shares Altamont Capital actually purchased in the company, so it was unclear how much Rick and Mike still owned at this point. This is kind of the beginning of the crumbling of this core skateboard footwear market.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't want to go.
The crumbling continued for
they all
Lakai,
died.
so much so that 3 years later, in 2017, Altamont Capital announced that they were selling their shares that they had in Lakai. And so they sell their shares to another giant private investment company called TSI Holdings. TSI Holdings
Like, how does he know
owns a
this?
ton of companies, but most notably Tactics Skate Shop and Stussy. TSI remains the
Stussy!
majority of shareholders up until recently with this whole debacle that this whole story started. October 1st, 2024, a guy named Mark Roca took to LinkedIn
this
to
guy.
post that he was now the new owner
This is the
and
guy
CEO
everyone hates.
of Lakai. He said in that post that he was going to be working very closely with Rick and Mike to maintain the integrity of Lakai. So when that was posted, it was fair to say that a lot of people were really optimistic looking at this. But just a month later, on November 5th, a random person on Slap message boards posted a thread that said, "Lakai is done," stating that the new owner of Lakai had laid off Rick, Mike, Meg, and all
has
the
to do public
employees
financial
and their
info.
team.
I don't think
and
it
although
necessarily
at that time,
does.
no one came out and said directly what had happened, not long after that, Mike Carroll came out and made a post that said that he felt like that he had failed the team and everyone that loves and has supported Lakai. And he thanked
Damn.
everyone for their support of the brand over the last 25 years and said that there will be more information about something in the coming months. He also used the hashtag #FreeLakai, which also makes it seem like they're trying to get it back at some point. The next day,
Tomorrow.
the Lakai official Instagram account made a post that was by Mark Roca himself, and it was a carousel of a bunch of different things
I remember
airing
seeing
out
this,
what was
being
going
like,
on.
what?
The summary of this post was, 1, that Lakai was losing $1 million a year and was weeks away from being shut down, claiming bankruptcy. 2, that Rick, Mike, Meg, and Spike had no ownership in the brand for a very long time, and that he offered them 10% of Lakai for free, claiming that the brand was for sale for over a year and that no one wanted to buy it, so that he picked it up for really cheap. He says at that time that he asked them to cut the skate budget by 23%, but then it was just a few days later that they
23%. Why is it 23%? It's sad because like you're literally cutting the skate budget from Ryder gets $500 to Ryder gets $200.
deleted the entire team page off the Lakai website. Mark Roca said that his plan for 2025 is to diversify the team across the globe, make travel
23
videos,
doesn't seem
and
like a lot. When you're getting $300 and it goes down 23%, it is a lot. You get $300. How many eggs can you buy with your monthly salary from Lakai?
and make a hometown hero program. And then he signs off the post saying, Mark Roca, just a dude trying to save Lakai with his own money. And that post has a ton of comments from a lot of industry heavyweights saying that he was being shady in the way he handled himself. It's also interesting to note that all the pro model shoes that are on the website have been renamed.
So, okay, the reason that everyone hates this guy, I don't necessarily think that this guy is doing nefarious things. The only nefarious thing this guy is doing is buying a cheap company for sale and trying to turn it into a profit that the company is based around skating and he doesn't know or care about skating. I don't know, care. He doesn't know anything about skating or the skate industry. So maybe he's a bad dude, maybe not. But if we give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's neutral, the only thing that he's doing bad that forces everyone to hate him is come in and try to make money from skating, not being a skater. I feel like typically in general, people really hate the idea of a non-skater like making money from the skate industry. And like the people that love Lakai because of Fully Fled shouldn't necessarily be like making this dude rich, you know? I feel like that's mainly why people hate this guy. And I feel like it's probably nothing he could have really done to make people like him, especially when he's trying to make changes to make money. Because when you buy a company, you don't buy a company to continue to lose $1 million a year. You buy a company to try to change things around. So like, yeah, no shit, you have to cut some budgets or do something. Otherwise, it's just nothing will happen. So it's like the guy never had a chance for people to like him. But it is very interesting to see how skaters are really like, get out of here, get out, you don't belong here.
and the pros' names have been removed from those shoes. But since then, there's been a lot of heartfelt posts from a lot of Lakai team riders and staff, basically thanking Lakai for everything that they've done for them. Now, this is far from over, and I'm sure in the coming months, there will be a lot of details that'll be released. But one thing's for sure, that if Rick, Mike, and Meg are no longer involved, then it's really only Lakai by name. These three were the heart of the brand for so long, and it's extremely sad to see how the story played out. Honestly, we feel as a core skate shop, and even just participators in skateboarding, you should avoid buying Lakai right now because you're just paying into the demolishing of a legacy. Guys, I'm Levi, this is ShredzShop, connect you to skateboarding, and this is what's happening with Lakai. Let us know below who is your favorite team rider over the years of Lakai, and what was your favorite pro model shoe they ever put out. Stay tuned for comment of the week. Oh, we got a spicy one.
Yeah, shout out to this guy, sick vids. I like this guy's channel a lot. Should we go see if he has an online version of his store? What? He doesn't even link to his store? Surely you can buy from ShredzShop online. I hope so. Maybe not though. Bro, you gotta put it in the description, dog. Definitely put it in the description. I'll link the store too. You think he sells Lakai? Probably, to be honest. He probably still has some. Oh, let's go. Man of his word. Man's, oh, MT. Sale skate. What do we got? 29 bucks? Is this 29 CAD? No way. Guys, that is a bargain. That is an absolute bargain. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting to learn like about the skate industry. 29 CAD, 199. Dude, 29 CAD is an absolute bargain. Yeah, I like these kind of historical videos talking about skate industry and stuff. I always really like to learn about it. So I think that was cool.